In this video, we're going to be looking at solving problems involving tables and timetables, a continuation on our lessons on addition and subtraction. Now, before we start learning, I'd like you to try your hands on these practice questions. It says in number 1, how many minutes are there between 10:20 and 14:15? And then in number 2, it says how many minutes do we have in 4.5 hours? So I'd like you to pause the video and get this done. When you go through, come back and let's see how correct you will be. Pause the video now. All right, welcome back. So how well did you do? Now, if you did your work correctly, let's look at it together. Your answer would have been correct. But then let's see how many minutes are there between 10:20 and 14:15. If you're familiar with the 24-hour digital clock, then you would have known that in an hour we have 60 minutes. Therefore, from 10:20 to 11:20, that is 60 minutes. Then from 11:20 to 12:20, that is 120 minutes. Now from 12:20 to 13:20, that gives you 180 minutes. Now from 13:20 to 14:20, that gives you 240 minutes. But then it's 14:15, so that is 5 minutes short. So we subtract 5 from 240, and that gives us 235 minutes. So there it is. So 235 minutes. Then number 2 is asking, how many minutes do we have in 4.5 hours? Now, what you need to do is multiply 4 by 60. That gives you 240. Now, in half an hour, we have 30 minutes. So 30 plus 240 is 270 minutes. So here it is. 4 hours, we have 240 minutes. That is 60 times 4. Half an hour, we have 30 minutes. So you add 30 and 240. 270 minutes. So there are 270 minutes in 4.5 hours. Good. Now let's learn. Now look at this table. Now what this table defines is bus time. It's a bus timetable. It tells us how long it takes buses to move from one town to another town. Now we have two questions there. It says there that a bus leaves Southville at 10:30. We're referring to just one bus now. It says that at what time should the bus arrive at Newtown? Now, to answer this question, we go to the table and locate Southville. As you can see, Southville is the first town on the table. It says it leaves at 10:30. Now, when you look at Southville, on that particular row where you have Southville, you have 9:19, you have 10:30, you have 13:10. So since the bus leaves at 10:30, it's referring to the second column. That is this one. So it says, at what time should it arrive at Newtown? So what we need to do is locate Newtown here, all right, and then trace it down to the second column. And there you can see it arrives, or it will arrive at Newtown at 11:12. Okay, so that is easy and straightforward. Then it says again, that same bus, how long will the journey take? How long? So all you need to do is, this is 10:30, is to add up the time it spends to get to Newtown. So 10:30 to 11:12. How many minutes do we have there? So 10:30 to 11:30 would have been 60 minutes, but then this is 11:12 and this is 18 minutes less from 11:30. So from 10:30 to 11:30 would have been 60 minutes. So if we subtract 18 from 60, that will take us back to 11:12. So 18 from 60 is 42. So that should be 42 minutes. All right. Now, another way you can do it is to say from 10:30 to 11, that would be 30 minutes. Then from 11 to 11:12 is 12 minutes. So 12 plus 30 is still 42. So 42 minutes. All right, that is correct. And here is your first exercise in the video. It says James arrives at the Milton bus stop at 9:32. He waits for the next bus to Redland. Question 1, how many minutes should he wait? Question 2, at what time should James arrive at Redland? Pause the video and get this done. When you are through, come back, let's see how correct you will be. Pause the video now. All right, welcome back. And how well did you do? Let's look at it together. It says that James arrives at the Milton bus stop at 9:32. So let's go and look at Milton. So here on the table, this is Milton, 9:32. Now the second column here shows 11:03 for Milton. That's when the bus is leaving. So he arrives this time. So if he was targeting 9:42, he definitely would have arrived a bit earlier than 9:42. So since he arrived at 9:32, so we're going to focus on this first column. So between 9:32 that he arrived and when the bus would move or leave, there are 10 minutes. So by question 1, how many minutes should he wait? He would wait for 10 minutes because the bus was going to leave at 9:42, but then he arrived at 9:32. So he would wait for 10 minutes for the bus to leave at 9:42. Good. Then the second part says, at what time should James arrive at Redland? So still on that column, we go straight to Redland. And here you can see 9:56. Good. So that is the time it's expected that James would arrive at Red Island rather. Okay. So you see again how simple and straightforward this is, working with tables and timetable. Let's see another example. Now, this particular one says the table here represents distance between cities in the United Kingdom, and this distance is given in miles. So we can look for the distance between any of the two towns by understanding how to read this table. So firstly, it says here, what is the distance between Manchester and Hatfield? For us to do this, we're going to go to the part labeled Hatfield and then the part labeled Manchester, and then we trace an arrow from Manchester and Hatfield and see where they intersect. So that number where they intersect is the distance between the two towns. So 286 miles. That is the distance between Manchester and Hatfield. Good. Then again here it says, what is the distance between Liverpool and Truro? Now we go to Truro and we look at Liverpool. We do the same thing. We trace an arrow from both towns and see where they intersect. So 243 miles. That's the distance between Liverpool and Truro. That's good. And then you are going to try your hands on this one. It says, if a car travels from Liverpool to Hatfield and then to Truro, what will be the distance covered? So I'd like you to pause the video and think on this. When you're through, come back. Let's see how correct you will be. Pause the video now. All right, you're welcome back. How well did you do? Let's see if you got the answer correctly. It says if a car travels from Liverpool to Hatfield and then to Truro, what will be the distance covered? So first of all, from Liverpool to Hatfield, the distance between them is 148 miles. Now, from Hatfield to Truro, the distance between them is 169 miles. So that car would first of all cover 148 miles to Hatfield and then cover another 169 miles to Truro. So the answer to this question will be 148 plus 169. And the answer will be 317 miles. So did you get that correctly? Congratulations if you did. And then final example in the video. This will be your exercise as well, but it's partly an example. It says fill. Oh, that was supposed to be fill, F-I-L-L. Apologies for that. Now fill in the blank spaces in the table if the total number of boys and girls is 100. All right. So we have how many blank spaces? 6. But since it says the grand total there of boys and girls is 100, then we can come to this place, because if we add the total here, it's supposed to give us 100. The total here will give us 100. Now the reason is because this table is called a two-way table. It's a two-way table. It's giving us two different information about a particular person or some people. Here we have boys, and male and female. So we're told they are male and they are female, and at the same time some of them are with shoes and some are without shoes. So two different information. So that means the totals of these two here will be equal to the total, will be the grand total here rather, should be equal. So if we add this and this, it must be equal to what we have when we add this and this. All right. So first thing we can enter on the table is the grand total. So there we go, 100. And that is where the grand total will be. So when we add this part here, we're going to have 100. When we add these two, we'll have 100. So having done that, we can go ahead again and look for that one, 47. So how did we get 47? Getting 47 was easy. Since we were given this grand total as 100, which we have entered here, all we needed to do was subtract 53 from 100 to give us 47. And now again, if we subtract 67 from 100, that will give us the value that will be here, and that should be 33. All right. Now we have 3 spaces left. So you're going to pause the video and fill in the blank spaces that are remaining. When you go through, come back and let's see how correct you will be. Pause the video now. All right, you're welcome back. How well did you do? Let's look at them together and see if you got them correctly. Okay. Now let's look at it from where we stopped during the example. Now you can see this is known already and this is known already. So that means we can find what will be here. This plus this will give me 53. So all I need to do is subtract 25 from 53 to get this the number missing from this part. So when I do that, I'll have 28. So 28 plus 25 is 53. Now the other remaining two are easy to find. So I can say 33 minus 28. That will give me the spot here. In the same vein, 67 minus 25. That will give me the value that is missing here. All right. So 5. 33 minus 28 is 5. Now 67 minus 25. That will give me 42. And our table is complete. So did you get them all correctly? All right, congratulations if you did. Now it's easy working with tables. The only thing is you need to know which method to follow or which direction to follow in obtaining numbers that are missing, no matter what the table looks like. That will be the end of this lesson. I'll see you in our next video on mathematics. For now, from me, it's bye-bye.